This is the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, Andre Brisson.
Hey there. This week we talked to Terry Tucker from Motivational Check LLC, who's also the author of Sustainable Excellence. And we're talking about his 4 truths that he developed over time with all his challenges and obstacles that he faced over his life, especially the last 5 years with his cancer diagnosis. And the 4 truths that he discussed he developed was number one, control your mind or it will control you. Number 2, embrace pain and difficulty we all experience in life and use it to make you a stronger and more resilient individual. Number 3, what you leave behind is what you weave in the hearts of other people. And number 4 is as long as you don't quit, you can never be defeated. Those were the 4 truths, but we concentrated on number 1 and number 2 because the conversation was just so good and we couldn't track them all together. So listen to next week where we'll actually finish off rules number 3, or I keep calling them rules, truths number 3 and number 4. But there's a few things that he said I wanted to elaborate on here and, well, not necessarily elaborate, but think more about. Like, to me, the big one, I really like the quote, actually. I think I want to repeat this. And it's kind of like one of my mantras that I didn't realize until it was stated this way. But like, he quoted Nelson Mandela. And Nelson says he has never lost, he's only learned or won. And when you learn or win, you never lose. So in a situation where you went up, you think you lost, but I think you lost if you don't learn. But if you learn from a loss, then in the end, you win. You didn't lose. So I really like that. I think I kind of chewed that up, but I think there's not much more I can say about this than this fact of the saying says, I never lose, I only learn or win, by Nelson Mandela. And I want you to think about that because if you look back on yours, I think you've got that same mindset also. Now, talking about mindset, like we're talking about his rule or his truth number 1, control your mind or it will control you. And I like what Terry said was we become what we think. And that is so true. And then like that reference he made to the basketball coach where mental is to physical as 4 is to 1. And what he meant by that is our mindset is 4 times more important to our success than anything that our physical bodies will ever do. So as much as you want to climb a mountain, push 5,000 pounds, or do anything physical, actually anything that requires physical effort, our mindset is 4 times more important to succeed than our physical capabilities, which to me, we can also correlate that to our skills and talents. Maybe not necessarily only physical, but our unique abilities, our special capabilities, our value adds to clients. For us to have those effective to the clients or to learn more about it, our mindset has to be 4 times better than our skills also. So I think now that I'm babbling about this, 4 times more important than your success than anything your physical body will do. But I also think we can also say our mindset is 4 times more important to our success than anything our skills, talents, and capabilities will ever do. And that's why it's very important. And I think you, the listener, the ones who've succeeded, achieved, we're in a good spot with ourselves here. Think back, and I think, and I know you're going to look back and say, you can almost put that 4 times rule in there. It was your mindset that got through all this difficulty and challenges. It wasn't just your physical effort and you can put up with the tiredness, but it's our mindset that makes us go and keeps it going and to overcome these obstacles. And that's what I really liked about this conversation with Terry. Mindset is key. And if we look back, as much as there was physical effort, long hours, no sleep, just go, it's actually our mindset that's overcoming it. And our mindset comes from our mind that we can control. But at times we forget about that and we let other people control it. So just like Terry said later on was, he made a conscious decision to not live his life that's decided by others, but to live his life that's decided by him. Now, in the ADHD world, reflect on this. We have always been trying to fit in. We're always trying to follow other people's rules so that we don't get, so we don't aggravate or keep getting resistance. So we kind of blend in, we kind of follow the status quo. But those are decisions made by others. The whole thing about, stop shooting on yourself. If you're thinking I should be doing this, well, that's someone else's influence. That's someone else's requirement. So that's a decision by someone else. And I look at those shoulds and say, is this what I really need to do, or can it be done, or does it really matter? So, and I think that's what I like. Live your life that's decided by you and not by others. And the final point I really want to make on this, and we all fall in this trap, but I think we don't fall in it as much as others. Not just in a neurodivergent, neurotypical comparison, just by the simple fact that we're high achievers and we are succeeding on what we're doing. And this is because we do not consciously accept suffering. Like he said, Terry, suffering is optional. So either you decide to wallow and blame everyone else, or you take ownership of the situation and just learn from the experience, try to avoid it in the future, and keep going. And I thought that was very, very profound along that lines, because suffering is optional. Like, don't get me wrong, it's part of the grieving process. Probably, you're going to be down on yourself for a while. But how long you're going to stay in that wallowing state, how long you're going to stay in that suffering state, that's really an option that you did. And like we mentioned in the episode, a decision not to make a decision. Sorry, let me start. Not making a decision is a decision. Not doing something is a decision. So by not trying to do things, the option of staying in suffering is decided by you. So there's always going to be suffering, but how long you're going to stay in there and in that mindset is really up to you, and it's very key. I know I can reflect back as, my suffering periods were quite small or short, and I just decided to get over it. I got to move on. Some people accuse me of being heartless. I'm supposed to cry or be pissed off and upset for months and years. But no, it's just like, in the end, I'm tired of being upset, frustrated. I know what happened. I'm just going to keep going and motoring on. So I really enjoyed this conversation with Terry. And the things that he came out was phenomenal. And for me, the big one is mental is to physical as 4 is to 1. Your mindset is 4 times more important to your success than anything your physical body will ever do. But I also think our physical body, we can also slot in there abilities, skills, unique capabilities, and unique value. So as much as our abilities are important, our mindset is 4 times more important for success. So have that in mind. Think about that. I'd like to hear from you what you think about that. You can email me at andre@tacticalbts.com or through the website. I'll be happy to hear from you. And thanks again for listening. And you have to come back next week and listen to episode 2 with Terry, where we actually talk about the last 2 truths, which is what you leave behind is what you weave in the hearts of other people. And number 4 is as long as you don't quit, you can never be defeated. Now, I did that in the wrong order, so I'm going to repeat 1 and 2 just so, because I should have started from the top. But number 1 truth, control your mind or it will control you. And number 2 is embrace pain and difficulty we all experience in life and use it to make you a stronger and more resilient individual. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review the show. It helps us get discovered by listeners like you. If you can share it with at least 2 people, that'll start the process. Please follow us on social media. Just search for Tactical BTS. We regularly share interesting conversations and breakthroughs about entrepreneurship and ADHD. That's Tactical BTS. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by Andre Brisson. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.